welcome back to my channel. My name's Carly Stevens. I'm the author of the 10UN Academy series, and this is English Nerd. So a couple weeks ago, I did a video on character arcs, which was also a video on plot, just because those two concepts, the character arcs and plot, are so closely aligned. Basically, without one, you really don't have the other. I said that I was going to make another video or two about plot, so I thought I would talk today about keeping your audience's attention on the story that's going on. And one of the biggest ways that you can do that is by having a through line. I am part of a writing group that meets every 2 weeks. So lately it's been over Zoom, of course, but we still meet over Zoom every 2 weeks and discuss each other's work. And there's one member of the group in particular who always asks, what's the through line? What's the through line to keep us on track? A through line is essentially the main question that needs to be answered through the story. What is the thing that takes you through from the beginning to the end? As an example for this video, I'm going to use An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, which I just finished listening to on audiobook. I would totally recommend it. It's quite good. So the through line, the big overarching question that takes you from the beginning of the story to the end of the story is, well, there are two main characters. So for Laya, the one that we meet first, it's will she survive and save her brother? That is overarching through the entire thing. And then for Elias, who's the other main character, it's will he escape from the oppressive system that he's a part of. And that's it. Those are the two big questions. Obviously, within those, we have lots of smaller questions and smaller quests, I guess, if you could put it that way, different ways that they handle how to survive or how to escape. But the through line is that one big question. Will Elias escape? Will Laya and her brother live? And that's it. If you don't have a through line from the beginning to the end of the story, it's possible that your readers could lose some interest because there isn't that question that they feel they have to see through. They have to see how it turns out. Through lines can look a lot of different ways. Sometimes they are internal. Will this person change? Like in A Christmas Carol, for instance, the through line would be about Ebenezer Scrooge. Will he change? Can he change? Or even a book that I read more recently, A Man Called Ove, will he change is the through line. Or it could be more external. Will Frodo destroy the ring? Right? Obviously, there's a lot more to Lord of the Rings than just that one question, but it's the big question distilled into its simplest form. So a through line can help the pacing of your book tremendously. Keep reminding the reader of that major question that they want answered. Yes, there are going to be sub-questions and things within that. There ought to be. I've heard those described as both as questions, you ask new questions and kind of close those, or as loops, like you open one loop and you kind of close another loop. So there's never a point in the story where everything is answered, and instead there is that ongoing question that takes you from beginning to end. So to go back to the example of An Ember in the Ashes, again by Sabaa Tahir, which is wonderful, those are the overarching questions, but for Laya, for instance, her story is the one that begins the novel, so I'll use her. Laya, so chapter 1, the question is established, will Laya and her brother survive? Now, her brother gets arrested by these murderous people of the Empire, and Laya, in order to survive herself and make sure that her brother survives, has to find the resistance. The resistance goes against the Empire, and they're the only ones who might have the manpower and the ability and desire to help her brother. So what we get there is related to that through line, a new kind of quest. Will she be able to find this resistance? Will they help her? We get these new questions that take us from chapter to chapter. Then once she finds the resistance, what will she have to do in order to gain their trust, and so on and so forth. And so you have these compounding questions, these compounding complications, but everything is in service of that one big question. We don't know until the end of the book or the end of the series how that through line will resolve, but all of the steps that it takes to get there are what take us from one chapter to the next. So if you're writing a book, which I assume you are since you're watching this video, consider your own through line. Is it clear throughout the story why the reader should hang on, what that big question is that they should be looking to answer? And at the ends of your chapters, have you closed all the loops? Have you answered all the questions? Or are you still asking those and giving the reader something to look forward to? What's going to happen in the next chapter, in the next chapter, in the next? If there is kind of a dead spot in your story, take a look at those two things, and there's a good possibility that you'll need to make the through line clearer and also ask more of those pressing questions and add more complications to achieving that goal. So that's all I have for you for today. If you have any questions, put those down below. Like this video if you like it, and don't forget to subscribe for more English nerdy goodness. All right, bye.